So we're going to talk about what is a business. So a business always before used to be something that generates profits. So Milton Friedman, he won a Nobel Prize, he's an economist in the 80s, he always talked about a business, the sole purpose of a business is to make money or make profits. I think this has now changed. The internet has blown everything apart, and it's now, the reason that business exists is something completely different. So I think before, a business used to exist and the customer would essentially revolve around the business. That was before. But today, because of the internet, and because we have access to so many things at the touch of a button, I think the customer now is in charge and business has to revolve around the customer. So it's essentially a massive change from what a business was before to what a company is now. And I think companies that solve meaningful problems are essentially going to survive going forward, whereas a company that just is extracting profits is not going to be it's not going to be in business for much longer. Businesses need to look at what the purpose of what they're in business for going forward. So number one, what is a business? It's to solve meaningful problems. We're also going to talk about it's a market, it's investing, it's accounting, and it's a law. So I use the acronym MAIL, so market, accounting, investment, law. I've switched them around just so I can make a point. So I think that I'm going to tell you now. So we've got the market, and that's outside of you. So think of going to a food market in a town or in a village. So you don't have control about what's sold in these goods and the goods and services that are sold there. So that's outside of you. So a business has a market that's outside of it, and it has it has goods and services that are sold outside of it. We also have investing, which is inside of you. So a business can decide where it's going to invest its money and grow in the future. So I think of business as so an inside, so inner game, and outside, the outer game. So a business that is the market, which is outside of him, and that's determined by raw materials, the customers, other competitors. This is the outside of the business. Then you have the inner game, which is investing. This is in the inside of you, where you can decide how to invest your money, or how to solve these problems, or how to essentially where you're going, where the business is going to. So the next thing is accounting. So accounting is what most people think of a business. When I talk about businesses, everyone kind of thinks about profit and losses, how much money is coming in versus how much money is going out. And this is also essentially kind of a math, it's very mathematical. So you work out how much money is coming in versus how much money is going out, and you have a balance sheet, and that would be your profit and loss. And then finally, we've got the law. So business operates in a legal system. So we have the English justice or English law courts. So this is something that they can't control. Although as a business, you can look at what legislation is being passed, or what legislation potentially could be passed, and you could make business decisions on this. Or as an investor buying a business, so as an investor, you buy a share of that business and you become a business owner. You can look at where the law is heading and make your investment decisions on that. So think of buy-to-let property. So it was beneficial in the last, say, 10 years to buy-to-let's gone, kind of the housing price has gone kind of nuts, kind of crazy gains. And that's because quite often owning a property has been very beneficial from a legal point of view. You get lots of tax breaks, you get lots of kind of incentives. So there's been quite a big crackdown in the UK or in England about kind of buy-to-let properties. You can't, number of tax problems that we can't necessarily, not going to go into here. But this has affected the profitability of the business. How profitable is this buy-to-let business now? So the law can have a big impact on your own business. Also think about the environment as well. If the government passes kind of subsidies for renewable energy, for instance, that could be beneficial if you're in the renewables business, whereas if you're in the oil and gas business, this might not be necessarily good for you because your competition has got many more tax breaks than you, and they're going to need much less kind of profits or money coming in to kind of compete with another business. So just to summarise, what is a business? So business solves meaningful problems. I think there's been a change because of the internet where before you'd have the business and you'd have the customer revolving around it. To today you've got a customer and the business revolves around it. So kind of the customer's in charge now. They have kind of the power, so to speak. So rather than a business being just generating profits, they're now solving meaningful problems. So we have the market, which is outside of them, outside of control, competitors, customers, goods and services. You have your investing. So as a business, how are you investing? Where are you heading? What are you looking to solve? These kind of internal, what I call the inner game, are part of business. Then you have your accounting, which is kind of the profit and loss, kind of the mathematical kind of, are you making money essentially? What's the bottom line? And then finally you have the law. So law, we're all in a kind of a legal system depending on if you're in the States or if you're in Australia or we're in the UK here. So you have different legal systems that could benefit different types of business. So yeah, this is what is a business. Here we go.